Nobody investigates a person they are not afraid of. Nobody coordinates against someone they consider irrelevant, and nobody spends that much energy trying to define you unless your existence quietly defies the definition they needed you to have. Welcome to Oculus of the Wise. If you are new here, something brought you to this video. That something is not random. It rarely is. And if you have been here before, you already understand exactly why you keep coming back. Before we go any further, take 2 seconds right now and subscribe to this channel. Not because of the content, because of what it says about you, that you are even watching this. That kind of self-awareness deserves a front row seat to everything we are building here. Hit subscribe and let us get into it. Here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody at the top of any system wants you to figure out. The fastest way to expose a structure is not to attack it. It is to understand it better than the people who designed it. And here is the part they never prepared for. Some of you already did that, not on purpose, not as an act of rebellion. You simply followed the logic all the way to its natural conclusion. And the moment you arrived, everything around you started acting very, very strange. That is not a coincidence. That is a diagnosis. Because here is what actually happens when someone like you walks into a room. The temperature shifts. Conversations lose their script. People who were perfectly comfortable 30 seconds ago suddenly feel the urge to either impress you, compete with you, confess to you, or disappear from the room entirely. Translation: you became the reference point without ever asking for the job. And the people who were used to being that reference point, the ones who had been running the room for years on charm, on credentials, on coordinated perception, those people noticed. Not loudly, not immediately, but they noticed. And what they felt was not admiration. What they felt was the particular, nauseating panic of realizing the game they had been winning just changed without warning. Number 1. Your presence does not just fill a room, it audits it. Most people survive by performing a version of themselves that keeps them safe. The impressive one, the harmless one, the misunderstood genius, the eternal victim. These are not lies exactly, they are armor, carefully maintained, endlessly rehearsed armor. But here is the problem. Your groundedness does not play along with armor. You do not reward the performance. You do not respond the way the script expects. And the moment that happens, the mechanism breaks. Their posture shifts. Their voice finds a different register. They over-explain things nobody asked about. They go oddly quiet in ways that feel rehearsed. What they are experiencing is internal exposure. Not humiliation, not attack. Just the visceral, unignorable sensation of being seen by themselves while standing next to someone who has nothing to hide. You are not doing anything to them, you are just being real. In a world almost entirely organized around performance, that is the most disruptive force that exists. Number 2. You stopped asking who is right and started asking what actually works, and that made you genuinely dangerous. There was a moment, quiet but decisive, when you stopped being impressed by confident voices and started watching outcomes. You noticed how many people could sound authoritative, speak with precision, cite exactly the right sources, and still produce results that collapsed the moment real pressure was applied. So you ran your own tests, you experimented, you observed, you adjusted. You were not trying to dismantle anything, but your way of thinking did something worse than dismantling. It revealed inefficiency. And inefficiency is catastrophic to any system that has spent years pretending to be infallible. Here is what makes this genuinely unsettling to the people who built those systems. You did not argue emotionally. You did not announce anything. You simply lived by logic that worked and let the results speak at a volume nobody could talk over. Authority can survive debate. It struggles against demonstrated results. You were not trying to be right, you were trying to be accurate, and that distinction, quiet as it sounds, changes absolutely everything. Number 3. The investigation they launched to expose you did something they did not plan for. It is almost funny, in a tragic kind of way. The people so busy zooming into your life forgot to zoom out on their own behavior. False narratives collapse faster under documentation than they do under confrontation. Most people never think about that. The people who came for you certainly did not. They were pressing record while whispering. They were taking notes while lying. They were coordinating stories while performing confusion. Every whispered conversation they thought was private. Every message thread they believed was sealed. Every meeting they held to align their version of events. All of it was creating a timeline. And timelines do not lie. What they did not plan for was your consistency. No dramatic collapse. No defensive speeches, no sudden personality shift that gave their narrative the footage it needed. You stayed ordinary, grounded, unbothered, and nothing unsettles a coordinated operation faster than realizing the target has nothing to hide and does not even feel the need to prove it. Stay right here, because what backfired was not just their plan, it was their confidence. The investigation designed to corner you quietly became the clearest possible evidence of what was actually happening. The footage was not collecting you, it was collecting them. If this is resonating with something you have lived through, drop a comment right now. It does not have to be long. Just let us know you are here, because some things are meant to be witnessed, and what you have been through is one of them. Number 4. They studied your past because they could not touch your present. When people lose influence over who you are right now, they go digging backward. That is not curiosity. That is strategy. Your present was too stable, too self-directed, too free from their reach. They could not manipulate your reactions, steer your decisions, or predict your next move. So they went looking for an earlier version of you, hoping somewhere in that history there was a lever they could still pull. What they misunderstood is that growth leaves evidence too. They expected old mistakes, weak moments, unfinished chapters that could be dragged into the present and weaponized. Instead, they found progression. They found someone who had already faced the heat, taken the lessons, and moved forward without needing permission or applause. The past did not contradict your present. It explained it, and that was the problem for them. There is also a quiet admission buried in that behavior. By focusing on your past, they were indirectly confessing defeat in the present. They could not challenge your integrity today, so they needed yesterday to do the work. But time does not work that way. When growth is real, the past becomes context, not ammunition. Number 5, your nervous system was the one thing their entire operation could not crack. Here is a psychological fact most people are not comfortable admitting. Humans read each other on a nervous system level before a single word is exchanged. Confidence, regulation, internal authority. The signals that communicate it run faster and deeper than language. And yours communicated something very specific. Immovability. Manipulators operate by reading reactions and bending them to their advantage. They probe for the soft spots. They apply pressure in the right places at the right times and watch for the flinch. But with you, the flinch never came. You did not react predictably. You did not absorb their chaos as your own crisis. You did not over-explain yourself to people who had already decided not to believe you. Their tactics failed before they fully launched. And that failure, that wall of your consistency, hitting back against every tool in their kit, that is what turned frustration into obsession. Because manipulators do not just get annoyed when they cannot move someone, they get afraid. They started pushing harder, talking too much, looping more people in, and the harder they pushed, the more they revealed. The operation quietly stopped being about you and started being about them. Observers notice that shift. The questions start sounding less like curiosity and more like accusation. The concern starts feeling rehearsed, and people start asking a new question. Not what is wrong with this person, but what is driving these people. That is the backfire right there. Number 6. They expected shame. You delivered undeniable. Here is what betrayers fundamentally misunderstand about people like you. They assume pressure produces collapse, that enough heat, enough scrutiny, enough coordinated whispers will eventually find the crack they need. They have seen it work before. Most people do crack. Most people start explaining themselves to rooms that were never listening. Most people shrink. You did not. And here is why that matters. When someone absorbs that level of coordinated pressure and comes out the other side, not smaller, not defensive, not changed by the attempt to change them. Observers notice you do not have to announce your resilience. It announces itself. Every intended humiliation that bounced off you became a testament to what you are made of. Every attempt to undermine your reputation strengthened it instead. Respect does not always come from achievement or charisma. It often comes from the way someone carries themselves when unfairly attacked. Your refusal to participate in their drama turned the spotlight exactly where it needed to go. They thought catching you would end you. All it did was mark the end of their leverage. Number 7. Exposure did not come from revenge. It came from alignment. The most remarkable part of everything that happened is that retaliation was never the mechanism. There was no calculated strike, no leak, no scheme, no underhanded operation from your side. What unfolded was quieter and far more powerful than any of that. When truth, consistency, and integrity operate together in a single person, deception does not just struggle against it. It collapses under its own weight. Their lies required maintenance, their manipulation demanded constant energy, their coordinated narrative needed all of them in perfect agreement at all times. You needed nothing. You just had to keep being exactly who you are, and that effortlessness, that complete absence of performance, was the force that made everything around it eventually readable. Observers did not need to be told what was happening. The contrast between your calm and their chaos was loud enough on its own. Truth, by its nature, finds its path. Lies, when stretched thin, snap, and in this case, the alignment of your life, your choices, and your presence ensured that the entire operation collapsed without you ever having to fire a single shot. Number 8. You were not just surviving this, you were being activated by it. The scrutiny showed you who was actually for you. The pressure stripped away the false loyalties. The attempt to define you in someone else's terms made you more clear about your own. The attack meant to slow you down, clarified your direction in a way that years of comfort never could have. Once someone withstands a coordinated attempt to take them down and comes out intact, the rules of the game permanently change. You are no longer perceived as someone who can be quietly damaged. You are seen as someone who absorbs pressure and remains. That changes how people speak to you. It changes what they are willing to try. It changes the room before you ever open your mouth. What truly activated you, though, was something more internal than any of that. The realization that you do not need approval to move forward. The weight of other people's projections, their expectations, their narratives about who you are supposed to be. You set all of it down, and once that weight is gone, you move differently, not louder, not arrogant, settled. The kind of settled that does not need to be announced because it has already been tested. This is more than a story about betrayal or scrutiny or backfire. This is a story about what happens when a person refuses to be bent by the weight of other people's fear. When integrity meets pressure, when consistency meets obsession, when someone who has nothing to hide simply keeps showing up exactly as they are, the outcome is never really in question. The truth always wins, not dramatically, not on a timeline anyone can schedule, but with the quiet, unstoppable certainty of something that does not require permission to be real. And now, here is what I need you to do. If this video reached you today, it was not accidental. The right message finds the right person at the right time, every single time. So honor that. Subscribe to this channel right now if you have not already. What we do here is for people who are done being defined by rooms that were never honest with them. Like this video, so the algorithm sends it to the people who are still in the middle of this story and need to hear it, and share it with someone you know has been carrying this quietly. You already thought of someone. Do not let them sit alone in a story that was never true. Drop a comment below. Tell us what number hit the hardest. Tell us where you are in this. Tell us you were here, because you being here matters, and everything you have walked through to get to this moment matters more than you currently know. Stay grounded, stay undeniable, and keep walking the path that most people were never brave enough to find. God bless you.